Hello guys, good evening. I think so. I'm live now, right? Can you just quickly confirm from your side if I'm live or not? Good evening, guys. So welcome back to the second day of our boot camp. So we will begin from the point where we left yesterday. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to the second day. And yesterday we did somewhat of a slow coding. We just covered our header part, and it is not even responsive. Okay. So today we will be kind of working on that much more. Okay. We'll implement our hero section and then we'll implement our movie section. Before that, I got some requests in yesterday's class to show the UI. Okay, so beforehand, I will show you what my intended UI is. I know the recent update for the Netflix UI has changed. Okay, there are many changes, but some things would be from the old site itself. Yeah. Yeah, hello guys, hello everyone. The thing is, we have a lot of crowd, so I can't acknowledge each and everyone's name. And yeah, guys, one thing more again, I told yesterday itself, I am telling you again, do not spam in the chat for attendance link or other links, okay? Whatever link I will be providing, that will be pinned on the top. So right now, I have already pinned the code sandbox link on the top. So if you want, you can use that up. And in case of attendance too, when we will be close to ending our session, in that case, we'll share it up. Okay. Same thing again, whatever doubt you have, you can write in the chat. If it is genuine enough, then only I will take it up today. Okay. Okay, guys. So now what I will do is I will directly get into the coding part. So once again, good evening, everyone. Okay. Whoever joined now, good evening to everyone. Okay. So now I will start with the coding part. In yesterday's lecture, what we did, we were done with the nav bar, not actually the time of today's slot. Yeah, today also will go till 8:05 or 8:10, not greater than that. Okay. Yeah, so in yesterday's class, we were done with the header part and it is not responsive right now. So we will make it responsive in today's lecture itself. Before that, we will be starting with our movies part. Okay, movie section. We can call it as movies, not movie section. Before movie section, we will start with the hero section. And once the hero section is done, we'll move to the next part. Okay. Yeah, so we'll move with our navbar. Navbar is done. So we'll start with the hero section. And before that, I will show you what is my intended hero section that I want to show. So that is so this will be my hero section, intended hero section that I am trying to build right now. Okay. So right now I have Stranger Things and other things. So it is just a dummy data. And in the background, I will be adding a image. So I haven't added image right now. So I will show you how to upload image. So what happened last class, some of you were having trouble in using some image links because there were some restrictions from your browsers, not from my side, but from your side. Now to resolve that, what we will do is we can get this thing resolved by using local images. Okay, so what we will do, we will install, not install actually, we will download the images from the browser and then we will add it up to the code sandbox and then we will be using. Yesterday's code is also in the same code sandbox link. There is no separate code sandbox. You will get everything all together. Okay, so let's begin the hero section. So I will define my header tag inside which I will be writing my hero section code. And as you know, each header I will give it a class name. Why class name? Because I will be styling it up by using my plain CSS. Okay, that is why we need to have my class name. Then inside the header, we'll define one div and so this is my outer div. Again, same schedule will repeat. That is my class. And in this case, I have given hero to my outer thing. And this will be hero content. Okay. So this is my inner div that we have defined. And side by side, you will be seeing the output. I am not previewing it up on the next page because yesterday some of you were having issue with this. Okay. So I want to preview the site along with my coding part so that you can see the changes live. Okay. If I take this output on the next page, in that case, it will be difficult for you to see for each changes. Okay, so inside this div, what we will define is h1 tag, and this h1 tag will be our heading. Okay, so the headings that we have is Stranger Things. We are not mentioning any season for this, as we know we have many seasons for this particular web series. Okay, Okay, so now for H12, I will need a class. Why? Because I do not need the default H1 setting for this case. Okay, so I have a sister underline even after starting. So Vidya, in this case, you need to check the class name that you have given. Only in that case, you are having an underlined hyperlink. Okay. Okay, so in this case, I will be giving my class name as title. See, guys, whenever you give a class name, you give it somewhat meaningful so that you can understand what you are selecting actually. So over here, I have my title. So that's why I'm naming it as hero title. Okay. If it is a description, I will name it as hero description. That is what I will be doing in our case. So this is another p tag, and the class name for this will be hero description. Okay, so this will be the class name for my description. So I will add just a small description for this case. Okay, if you forgot the attendance, we can't help you with that. Okay, you can mark today's attendance in this case. Yeah, so now we can add a small description. I already have a small description over on the next sample site for me. Okay, so I will copy that description up and I will add it up on the screen for myself. Okay, so now you can see it up on the screen. My description is there, my heading is there. Okay, when we add the styling, in that case, you will see it up more. Fine. Okay, so yeah, p tag is done. Our description is also added. Now, as in the output, we can see we have two more buttons on the bottom. One is play button and another one is more info button. So we need to add those two buttons too. Okay. So after the p tag, so we can just over here, we can define a div. Okay. So in this div, we will be adding a button. So we will name it a class and the class we will give it as hero button. Okay, so why are we defining a div in this case? Why? Because we need this to button in a form of flex. Okay, we need this to button side by side. That is why we are defining an outer div inside which I will be adding it up. Okay, Pratikya, there is no attendance form being circulate right now, so you can just follow the lecture when we will be near the end of our lecture. In that case, we'll share it up with you. And the link that is pinned on the top is Code Sandbox link. It is not the attendance form link. Okay. Yeah. So now again, we are going to use something that is icons. Why are we going to use icons? So in the output, you can see we have a play icon and then we have a play text. So before that, I will name it. I will give it a class name and what was the class name? Button and button play. Okay. So two class names I have given, and then comes our I tag. Okay. So in this I tag, I will have my icon. So along with my icon, I need a play. So I have added that play on here. Okay. Now how will I add my icon? Okay. Yeah, so how will we add icon? So we just got to know in yesterday's lecture itself. We are using what we are using. We are using font awesome. So same way as we did in yesterday's class. So we will be defining FA. Okay, and what will be the name? FA play. FA play will be the icon name. Okay, fine. So this is my icon. Styling part will take care of it later, not now. Then this is one button that we created. And again, we need to create one more button for the same hero section. Okay, we need to create the same button for the hero section and we'll define the I tab same way. And what is the text that we need is more info. So let me add the text that is more info. Okay, this is the text that we are adding it up. Okay, more info. And we also need one icon over here. So we will add one icon too for this case. So what will be the icon? So again, FA, and we need, yeah, so in this case, we need another icon that is kind of info circle. So info and then circle. See guys, I haven't memorized these names, okay? The names of this icon, I haven't memorized it up. You do not need it up. I have this name already noted with me. That's how I am using it up, okay? So these names are not for you to mug up. Do not do that work, okay? Yeah, so then comes your button, okay? And button more info. Why are we giving it different names? So because we will be adding different stylings in both cases. That is why we are adding different names. Okay. Yeah, so both buttons have been added, but it does not look good right now. So what we will do, we will now get into styling part. Okay. Pradeep, FAS, FA icon. Yeah, Pradeep, you can try that too. If it works, then you can use it up. Okay. Okay. Now, see, sir, can we create the clone of using front-end languages? Yeah, you can create whatever clone you want by using front-end language. The thing is, we will miss out the functionality in this case. Okay. We are just creating the front-end part. We are just creating the look of the site, not actually the functionality. So, if we talk about the functionalities, okay. So, if you want me to talk about the functionalities in Netflix, if we get more into that, just give me a moment. Okay. So suppose you have a card, okay? You have a movie card on the Netflix. When you click on that movie card, you have a player getting popped up on your screen. Okay. So now this player will play the video part. Okay. Now in our case, we would not be able to implement this part. Why? Because we are just implementing front end part. Okay. So that is why we are not able to implement those functionalities for us. So that is what we are messing it up in this case. Okay. Okay. Balaji, whatever suits you best. If you think you can do it later also, it is fine with me, no problem. Only thing I want you to submit the assignment when I give you later. Okay. Yeah. So let's get into our CSS part. Okay. So first of all, I will add a comment for you to understand from where did we started the hero section style. Okay. So first we will style our main outer div for my hero section. Okay, that is that the class name that I gave was hero. Okay, and first thing I am going to write a height. Now, special thing about this is now the height that I am going to give is in terms of view height, not in terms of pixels. Okay, the height that I'm giving it is in terms of view height, not in terms of pixel. Okay, fine. And then you have a background and what a background. So you will be giving a linear gradient again in this case. Okay. So background and then we will be having our linear gradient. So I already explained you what linear gradient will be. So suppose if you want another explanation, what I can explain you is, just give me a moment. Yeah. So suppose this is your site. Okay. This is your site. 1 minute. Just give me a moment. I am having a trouble with my pen moves. Okay, fine. So suppose this is your site. Okay. Now what you want is you want to have some different shade on the left side of the screen, and as you move on the right side of the screen, you want to have some different shade. So that is why we need linear gradient in this case. Okay, we want to mix up two different colors. So that's why we are adding a linear gradient in our case for now. Okay. So what we were doing is, yeah, so in terms of background, I want to add a linear gradient. I already added one linear gradient yesterday, but again, we'll be adding now. So what will be the direction of my linear gradient? I want my linear gradient to go from top to bottom. Okay, that is what I want in this case. And then again, I will be defining my RGBA value. So from which yeah, so from which color it should begin and to which color it should go on. So that is what we are adding it up. Okay. So in this case, we will have 0, comma 0, comma 0, comma 0.4, and then we can make it as 0 percentage, and then another RGB value we will be giving. So it will be also close to black itself. Instead of 0.4, we'll add 0.8 in this case. Okay. And 100%. Okay, so this is our RGBA value that we are adding. And now here comes our main part. We are going to add a URL now in this case. Okay. Okay, so we are going to add a URL in this case. So what will be the URL? URL will be the URL image that we are going to add for our case. Okay. So now I will tell you how you can add a URL, not URL actually, how you can add a image to your code sandbox. So see, we have a Stranger Things right now. Okay, you can select any of the one image that you want. Okay, if I take example, so suppose I am taking example of this case. Okay, I want this to be as my uh, background image. So I will click on save image. Okay, I am saving my image. So I will save my image somewhere. Once it is downloaded, download is complete. I will go back to my code sandbox. Over here in the code sandbox, you have to right click. When you right click, you have an option to upload. Okay, I will show you again. Over in the code sandbox, you have to click on right click, and over here you will have an option to upload, and then your dialog box will come. Wherever you have stored that image, you just have to now upload it up on the code sandbox. So I have now added this image to the code sandbox, and now I will add this image to my URL. Okay, so what is the URL? Stranger thing.webp. Okay, that is the URL that we are going to add. Yeah. Okay, so this is done, and then one more thing that we need to add is center. So we want it as to be center, or else we will have our image to be covered, or else what does cover would mean? We want whole our div to be covered by the image in this case. Okay, fine. So this is the background image. We are done with this. And then comes our display. So we'll add our display as flex. And then comes our items, align item. Align item will be kept as center. And then we'll have justify content as center. Okay. How we can add, 1 minute, how we can add or we can add video or total film. You can add out video or total film by using iframes. You have iframes in HTML case. Okay. So you can define iframe in your index.html. Over there, you can add the images or videos. So if it is a YouTube video, if you're talking about a YouTube video, you have an embedded code for all YouTube videos. Okay. If I get time, I will show you that part too. Okay. I got this out, so I will keep it in mind. If I get time, I will show you how to do that work too. And then we are adding a padding of 0, 60 pixels according to our need. Okay, fine. And after padding, we'll add a margin bottom. Okay, so what will be the margin bottom? We can add a 20 pixel of margin bottom in this case. Fine, guys. So our hero section, outer hero section is done. Okay. My text is hidden behind the nav bar. Any possible reason? Any possible reason would be not adding your height, or else not adding kind of padding or other things. My text is also right now hidden. So what I will do, I will add a small amount of margin on the top. Okay. So in that case, it would look much more better for me. Okay. So if I go on a small screen window, I can see my text is getting hidden. So when I manage the responsiveness, in that case, I will manage this part up. Okay. So you can add a kind of some margin in case of navbar, margin bottom. In that case, it will work. Okay. Yeah. So my outer hero section is done. And then comes my hero content. Okay. So then comes my hero content. We'll add the CSS for this. So only thing that we need to add is maximum width. And what will be the maximum width that we would need is 600 pixels in our case. Okay, fine. Then what is next that we would need to style is title. So next is our title page. So we'll use hero title. And now, what all styling do we need to give to the hero title? Okay, so which assignment we need to complete for certificate? You will get to know, Pranay, whatever assignment we will be sharing. I will explain you before closing the fourth day, last day of our bootcamp. You will get to know about that. Okay, do not worry. I will not leave you misinformed. You will get to know everything. Okay, and yeah, so margin bottom is kept as 16 pixels. Okay. So hero title is also done. And then we need to give styling to hero description. Okay. We will be giving styling to hero description now. So same way. Okay. What all things we need? We need our font size to be given. And what font size do we need? So we gave 48 to the outer thing, and we can give it as 18 pixel. Okay. Same thing we'll define again, that is margin bottom. And what is the margin bottom? We can add is 24 pixel because we need to have a space between this description and these two buttons. Okay, that is why we are adding this margin bottom. And then we'll add a color to the text. So what is the color that I want? E5 one that we used yesterday itself, close to white. That will be close to white itself. Okay, nothing change. Can we use different font style? Yeah, Nitya, you are free to use different font style if it looks good for you. Okay. The only intention for me to use particular thing is to explain to you how to use that thing. Okay. My text is hidden between nav, but yeah, daily developer, I told you, you can try adding margin bottom in this case. Okay. That will work for you. You can see mine, even mine is hidden. So when I manage the responsive, in that case, I will manage this part up. Okay. What is this for? What? Can you come specific? Okay, so a hero description is done, and then we have hero button. Okay, so hero button. What is the class name that we gave? Hero button. Okay, so we'll give the class styling to my hero button. Okay, how to create this in Figma? Yeah, so Figma, if you want to learn, you can contact UI developers. Sorry, UI designers. I am not that good in Figma. Okay, so next thing is hero button. Okay. So first thing that we will be defining is flex. Why are we defining flex? As I already explained you, we want these two buttons on side of each other. That is why we are defining flex in this case. Okay. After flex, you can get to the gap, and gap we will add at 16 pixel in our case. So when we add a gap, we got a gap between these two different text in our button. Okay. While coding, what things you exactly keep in mind, like how exactly you use margin padding? See, Ramji, there are two cases. One is when you have your UI UX with you, and other one is when you do not have UI UX with you. So if you have your UI UX, in that case, you can get to know, okay, what all padding and margin you need, because that will be the work of UX developer or UX designer to do. If you are doing it up on your own, in that case, you do it by trial and error. Okay. So if you would have worked on 3, 4, 5, 6 projects, in that case, you know what are the intended margin, what are the intended padding you would need. So even in that case also, we do a trial and error. Okay. So if that does not looks good, so this might look good. Okay, that is what we do. So without trial and error, you cannot expect anything much to learn about. Okay. Okay, so hero button is done. Now we have BTN. So where did we exactly define our BTN? So BTN was defined over here. So let's style our BTN now. Okay. Previously you said 25 pixels are now 16 pixel. Can you type in which case and which type? Where did I use 25 pixel? Margin bottom I use 24 pixel. Okay, and in this case I use 16 pixel. Okay, I did not use anywhere 25 for other things. If I have used, it is purely based upon the look of the UI that I'm getting. Okay, so we will be giving it a background color. What is the background color we need to give is triple F, that is white. We will be giving that, and we'll give a color for the text, and color for the text is 000. That is pure pitch black in this case. Okay, what is meaning of hero? So hero is just below the nav bar. Okay, so just below the nav bar, the section that you get, that is what we call it as hero section. Okay, so you can call it as hero section, about section, whatever you want to call it as. That is your hero section or else about section. Fine. So if I show you up on the output, so this part whole that you can see. So the on the top, this is your header. Fine. Then just after the top, just after the header, this is the hero section that we call, okay, kind of intro section or the first section after navbar that the user will be seeing. Okay, how to add image in CSS for VS Code. Same way as I did over here. Same way, define the URL. For the CSS, sorry, for the VS Code, just copy and add the image. Okay, wherever you would have downloaded the image, just copy the image and then just paste it up in the folder. Okay, the intended folder that you have. Okay, yeah, guys. So our BTN is done. Fine, it looks good. And then comes our power. Okay, after btn we would need any other thing that is btn play and other things. Okay, wait. So btn. Okay, so we would need more styling in the btn. This is not enough. Background is given, color is given. So we would also need a background, sorry, not background, but actually a border radius. Okay, what are the key needs to mark while have making a HTML page? Only key needs to mark is you know where to use what tag. Okay, that is only key need to for you to understand when you are making a site with pure HTML. And then we have a font size. So what is the font size in this case? We will be adding it as 16 pixels. Okay. After the font size, what we would change is, okay, so background color, background radius is fine, and font size is added, and we'll add a cursor as pointer in this case. Okay. What if we fail to submit the assignment? In that case, might be a case you would not get your certificate. So you can try doing that. Okay. So someone has to compromise to understand what will happen in a certain situation. So if you do not try, you will not understand. But better you do not try this. Okay. Yeah. So gap will be 8 pixels. Okay. Yeah. So gap, I'm adding it as gate 8 pixels, and I will add a transition of all. So all transition means whatever CSS I am adding, everything will be transition. Okay. That is what I'm adding in this case. Okay, fine. This looks somewhat good. Align item is added. Justify we would not need in this case. Fine. Okay. We would also need kind of display. Okay, so we can try adding padding because the text and the icon is just sticking to the side. So we can add 20 pixel of padding on both of the sides. Let look good. No, 20 pixel is too much. We can add 10 pixels in our case. Okay, fine. 10 pixel looks good. We can also increase the border radius. In that case, that will look much more better. Okay, fine. This looks much more better than what we were doing. What is meaning of padding? I don't know. What is meaning of padding? So when you define a div, okay, you define a div, and inside a div you have a content. Inside a div you have a content. Now the space between the border and the content is what we call it as padding. Okay, so the inner space between the border and the content is what we call it as padding. Okay, fine. Yeah, Daria, you will get assignment at the end of this session itself. Okay, I will give you footer as assignment for completion. Okay, I will share the code with you. You will get the UI also, but instead in that case also, I will give you footer as an assignment. Okay, so button has been given a styling. So I will move to the next part. That is button play. So we defined a button play. I think so. Yes. Yeah, so we defined a button play. So we'll give styling to that part also. Okay. Fine. So background color, in this case, we need to give a background color, and triple F will be given as background color. And then we need to give a color, not OO, but actually 000. So this is our black color. Okay. Transform 0.3 means, so 0.3 is the duration for my transform. Okay. Okay, I wrote a transform. Okay, sorry for this. This should be transition. Okay, not transform. Thanks for telling me. This should be transition. Okay. Yeah, so transition 0.3 means the duration for that transition is actually 0.3. So I am going to define that duration, or else I am going to define that transition. So we'll define it under the hover section. Okay. So HOVER, under the hover, we will be defining that transition. So what transition we will add? We will add a background image and RGBA. So in that case, we are adding an RGBA. So in this case, we do not want a black RGBA. Okay. where is button defined? So if you go in the button, in this case, you have BTN and then BTN play defined inside this button tag that we have created. That is where we have defined our button. Okay. You will get the footer, intended footer that I want. Do not worry about that. Okay. I will share it up with you. Do not worry about these things, guys. You will get everything from my side. I will not give you assignment without clearing your concepts and without clearing the need of the assignment. Okay. So do not worry about those things. And then I would need it as 0.75. So this is the transition that I want to apply. Okay. So let it get applied. Yeah, so when I go over my play button, in that case, it should have this RGBA value, and it looks fine. Yeah, it is fine. We can add some more things in this case. Okay, no problem, fine. And this is the button play. And another thing is, sir, it should be 0.3 seconds, not 0.3. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that too. Yeah, so it should be 0.3 seconds because we are defining a duration, not just a value. Yeah, so next thing is BTN, more info. Okay, in that case also, we'll give it a style and the style will be same. So background color and the color that we need to add. So the style will be same in this case. So we'll add it up directly and then we'll give it a hover effect. Okay, so we are going to give it a hover effect. Same thing, we'll give it a hover effect in same way, but the u not URL, but the RGB value will be kind of different. Use of all. So see, guys, in transition we have many kinds of transition. So it could be transition of color, it could be transition of scale, it could be rotation, many cases. So all means whatever CSS property exists, transition will be in case of all forms of CSS properties. That is what your all would mean in this case. Okay. So first RGBA is 109 and another one is again 109. Please, we can only see the code but can't see the change being applied. Change are being applied on the right side of the screen and the change is not that much that you will see. Okay. We are just changing the hover effect right now. Okay. So whatever major changes were there, we already are done with this. We are just adding a touch up right now. Okay. Okay. So this is my button more info hover is added. Okay. Is this single page project? No, Nirmala will add one more page of a profile section. Okay. Because I need to explain to you how we link different pages in HTML. Okay. So we can add that button. 1 minute. Is my video covering the hover? Okay. Fine. I will add my video to the left so that you can see the output clearly. Okay. Fine. No, we haven't added alpha 0.4. We have just added RGBA alpha. Okay, 0.4. It is a color. Okay, red, green, blue, alpha. Okay. Yeah, so with this, we are done with the hero section. Although in lower size screen, it is getting overflowed on the top. We will check it up and we will fix it up right now in some time. And now next thing that we would need to is move to the next part, that is our movie section. So we have to define one card and those card will be used again and again. So if you see the intended card, what we need is, so only one card is getting used again and again. So I have added just three sections. Why I have added just three sections? Because as per your need, you would be having different choices. Okay, you would be having different choices of movies. You would be having different choices of sections. So this is part that you can change up on your own. So I will add three sections for you. I will define a card. I will make one card, and those card will be used again and again. Okay. So let me go into that part and 1 minute. We can add a margin bottom of 50. So, okay, even if it is not fixed now, we'll fix it up in our responsiveness because we also have to make our header and other parts also responsive. So you can just remove the margin. We would not need it now. Okay, so we can move to the next part, that is movie section. Okay, should I start learning programming from can 1 minute. You can start learning programming wherever you want. Okay, it's just upon your interest wherever you want to learn. Okay, so wherever it suits you best, you can take it up. Okay, so the next part that we have is our movie section. So let me define the card in this case. Okay. Sir, can we use, yeah, you can use any other thing instead of hash FFF. You can also define it as white, or else if you think any other color suits best in this case, you are free to use any other color. Okay. So see guys, this is a clone site that you are building up for your own understanding and knowledge. So you are already free to do whatever you want in this case. How to determine color and the count perfect? Now we have RGBA color values. Okay, so we have many sites. So in that case, we have many sites and many places from where you can get RGB values. Okay, so if I get on first one, so this is not good. Yeah, so color picker, you can go on RGBA color picker. So whatever color you need, you can make it up. Okay, whatever color you think is the best, from here you will get the RGB value. You can copy and use it up. Okay. Yeah. So next thing that we would need to start is our movie section. So guys, is there any doubt till this point for you? Yeah, guys. So button is subclass of the button. Button is the main class. No, there is nothing that is subclass or main class. Both are their independent classes. We have defined two classes and we have added value of CSS to two different classes. Okay. There is nothing that you can call it as main class and subclass. Okay, great guys. So now what I will start is now the movie section or else movie row. So we will define two cards or else we will create two cards. We will style those two cards completely. And then once the style is done, we will just copy those cards as per our need. Okay. I'm not getting the background image. So you can check up the URL that you have defined. If the URL is fine, okay, for you. If it is not fine, you can either download it up. Okay, see the guy problem is some of you would be using direct links from the Chrome site. Okay, so in that case, those links can sometime get blocked. That is first case. Another case is if you are using it by downloading it up, in that case, you can check the path of your URL. Okay, that is the only problem that you would be having in the code. Yeah, so the first thing we will be defining our div. Okay, and the div will be container for this case. Okay, RGB, you can use whatever. So in case of website development, we mostly define the colors in name of RGB, okay? Not RGB, sorry, not in RGB. You did it by downloading also. Then you have to check the path, okay? File path that you have created. That is the only issue that you would be getting. You can check if the width and height is given fine. In that case, also sometimes it does not shows up on the screen. Okay, guys, let me begin this part. Okay. So we'll start with this. We'll define my section. Okay, we'll define my section tag. 1 minute and section. Fine. So this will contain my card that I want to build. So what is the intended card that I am trying to build? So this is my main intended card that I have. So I have two cards. Okay, one is this on hover you are getting these options. Okay, one is this, and another card is you are just getting a scale. Okay, scale on case of hover. So we would go with the first case. Okay, so if you want, you can just add a simplified view also. Okay, minimalistic view. If you do not want this option to be there, you can move it up. But I will be adding it for the cards. Okay, so let's begin in this case. So yeah, you can. You are free to do. Okay, you have to submit this assignment in the form of like you have to submit this course in the form of assignment at last. So if you want to code it individually from your side, you can. Okay, you are free. You just need to learn the concept here. The implication part can be done even later as per your choice and as per your need. Okay. So let me begin this section. So I will name it as content section. Okay. And after section, I will, okay. Yeah. So I will, after the content section, fine. So first thing is the header. Okay, so I will be adding a header in this case. Yeah. So what will be the header in this case? So first header that I have is only on Netflix. So these are the movies or web series that we only have on the Netflix. So only on Netflix is my first case. Okay. So let me give the class name in this case. Okay, can you elaborate or the video and the image thing? Image thing is already elaborated. I already showed you how we can add the image in CSS. And in terms of video, we'll show you. Okay, do not worry. In next class, we'll add that also. See, if you want to add any video, we have iframe tag. Okay, so iframe tag adds those video whatever we need. I will show you how to do that. Do not worry about that. Okay, in tomorrow's lecture, especially, I will create one card for you. I will add a video for you, and I will show you. Okay. No, guys, it is not going to affect your attendance if you write the code somewhat differently. Okay. Yeah, so I will name it up and it will be my section title. Okay. So the styling for this part will be long because we need to add much part for this, many hover effects, many after effects. So this will take up some time for you. And let me create my HTML first of all. So again, I have added my heading is done, fine. And after heading, I need to create my cards now. Okay, I will be creating my cards one by one. Yeah. So let me save it up. Okay, so I will add a comment on the top stating that this is the place from where my cards code has started. Okay, this is the place. Fine. How could you implement the icons? The icons, we have two options. Either we can use font awesome icons, or else we can directly add the icon in the form of text in our CSS. So in this case, I already showed you how to use font icon, and now I am showing you the cheap way of adding it up. But most probably, this is not the best way, but I will show you up how we can add the icons in the form of text too by using CSS. Okay. Sometimes, maybe in some cases, you would not get some icons free of cost. They are paid in some cases. So in that case, I will show you just in this part how we can use the text form of icons too. Okay. Okay. So the card div is already defined. Okay. So I will give it a class. And what is the class for this content row? Why are we defining a content row? Because, yeah, so we have our card that is in the form of flex row. Okay, so that is why we need to define our content row outside and we can add our card over inside this. Okay, so after this, we'll begin our card. And another div is defined and we'll give it a class name. And what is class name? So it will be content card. So this is the content card class name. Okay. Yeah, you see the code sandbox link is already pinned on the top. So just visit that sandbox link and you will get everything that you need. Okay. Do not worry about these all small things. So the first thing that we are going to define is image. Okay. So we'll define an image and in image we have two, three properties alternate. So alternate will add it as movie card. Okay, fine. After alternate, we would not need anything. So source. So we already have added one of the source that is Stranger Things. So what we will do one thing, we can use another image that is Mission Impossible. Okay. So you can use any of the intended image. You can download it up and you can use, if you want, you can use the old image itself. Okay. So I will again upload one more image from my desktop. Okay. So what image can I add is, okay, 1 minute. I have two, three images, movie image. Okay, I will add this up and I will define the source. So source is already defined. I will name it as movie image dot jpg. Once it gets refresh, and now you can see this is the image that I am trying to show on the screen, but this is not styled till this point. Okay, so I will style this up image. One more problem that we have in this image is we need a rectangular size of image. Okay, but right now we have rectangular but not in the intended form. So I will download another image and I will use it up. So just give me a moment, and I can change it up with another image, and that image will be mission. So now why I used one image and then why I removed that image. So the problem of the image, last image, was the dimension. So I just wanted to show you, in some cases you have to look for the dimension. If you want a rectangular shape like this, okay, if you want a rectangular shape like this, you cannot use previous images. So that is why I added it up for you to see. This is the image that you should not use in our case. Okay, so image is defined. Okay, Bootstrap is also good to go with icons. Sir. Yeah, Bootstrap is also good. Bootstrap is class-based styling. Okay, you can use anything. If you are using React, you have a whole option of using React icons. Okay, free of cost. They are open source. Okay, so our image is defined. Now, next thing that we need is okay. So next thing that we would need is batch. Okay, so we will be adding some batches to this case. What is batch that we need to add? So on the top left corner, you can see N written on the top. Okay. So that is what we need to add in this case. So this will be my capital N, and class I will give it as Netflix, not Netflix, but Netflix batch. Okay. So Netflix batch, I have given it as class, and when we go in the styling part, we'll style it up. Okay. So we are right now just adding our CSS. So it might be a case you would not see it up on the output screen. Okay. React's work on front end or back end or both. See, React is a framework that can be used for writing whole full stack application. Okay. So you can use it up for whatever need when you want. Okay. So first is my Mission Impossible. I do not know what Mission Impossible series, like which part it is. Okay. So I will just write Mission Impossible in this case. It is final reconnaissance. No problem. We can just go with Mission Impossible itself. Okay. Yeah. So you can change it up, this data, with whatever you need. Okay. Do not steadily run to learn React without learning the basics of HTML and CSS. Okay. Now, next thing is we need to add an overlay. So, what is the overlay? So, when we are hovering on the screen, we are seeing three, four icons getting up on the screen. Okay. That is what overlay we need to add in our case. And as well as we are having a title getting shown on the screen. So, we have to add that part. Sir, I have suffered from multiple time path error. In which case are you suffering this error? Yeah, Archana, you can watch IPL after the session. Okay, I know today's final. It's important day. There would be many RCB fans to be waiting for the first, not only RCB, but actually Punjab Kings also waiting for their first title. But you can look at that up later. Okay, right now, just let's complete this part first. Okay. So looks good. Okay, yeah. So now we will be adding our overlay. Okay. So overlay, and then it will be bottom. So we want to add it to the bottom overlay. Okay, so that is the bottom overlay. We have given it as class. Also, can you please explain what is difference between front end and back end? Like JavaScript is part of front end and how does back end work? Ramji, you can visit my boot camps for full stack development. Over there, you can understand it much better. Okay, so let me complete my front end part first. Okay, we are already like of kind lagging behind the time. So let me do this. Yeah, so first thing, we have defined a class, and now we have defined our outer diff. Now we need to define our overlay control. So these are the, why am I defining this many number of divs and why am I defining this many numbers of class? Okay. Only thing that we are doing right now is, okay, because we are trying to style it up. So for easiness of styling, we are having multiple number of classes or multiple number of divs inside each divs. Okay. So that is why we are defining this up. So do not get worried of why are we writing div again and again. So this is part of coding. So when you code, you have to write it like this. Yeah, so first thing, we'll add it as control. First is control btn, and whatever content we want to show it up, we will be adding it up on the CSS part. Sir, image can be different in our clone. Yeah, obviously, you can have different image in your clone. Okay. Yeah, so first thing is play button. We'll be adding our play button. If you see up on our intended output, you can see we have one play button on our screen. Okay. So this is first div that we have defined. Then comes our next div. Okay. Same way, we'll define control and control btn. So control btn will be same thing. Okay. Bottom spelling. Okay. I have defined it as button. Fine. So control btn. Fine. And next is check VTN. So we have options in Netflix to check up any web series or any movies that you have already watched. So you can have that check button also in our case. Okay. So control and check is already done. Then next what we have. And next we will be defining class, and same way control BTN will be constant. Okay. Sir, I have suffered from multiple times path error image. So you can wait for some time, then you can try it up again. Okay. Or you can kind of delete the cache if you're using a online compiler. In that case, it will work again fine. Okay. Then comes your thumbs up. So if you want to have a thumbs up for a certain kind of content that you're watching, okay, in that case you can add. So it will be thumbs button PDF. Okay, and then we have to see, guys. I know you would be having doubt. I'm writing this much code, but why am I not seeing any output? So the output that you are seeing is just plain HTML that you have right now. Okay, there is no styling in this part. So that is why you cannot see the output in this particular case. Once we add the styling part, in that case, you will have a better output to see. Okay, so this is just one card. We'll copy that card again and again, and this will be a one-time work only. Okay, do not worry about this part. Okay, so fourth icon is control button, and it will be more BTN. So you would sometime need to have a more description of any particular uh, series or else movie, so you can click on that button. Okay, fine. So these are four intended buttons that we need to add it up on our screen. And do we have any other things that we would need? We also have a kind of shadow on the bottom. Okay, what we can do is we have the Mission Impossible on the screen. Great. That is fine. We have added it up. On case of hour will not show any of this. Okay, fine. Great. I also want to know what that is. You will get that in this form, guys. Just wait a minute. Okay. Okay, yeah. So overlay button is done. We also need some kind of overlay info in this case. So we'll add that part also. Okay. So we will complete this HTML part today itself. Okay, just a small part is remaining, and in next class we'll style it up. Okay. Info overflow, not overflow, but actually overlay info. Okay, so in this overlay info, we will share details like which company did make this series, or whatever you call it as production house or anything. Okay, you can do that up, and or else in other case you can add the description about other things. So first in this case overlay info, what all things do we need to add is okay. Then again class name. Okay, yeah, guys, you will get it in just a minute. So info batch. So this will be the first case. Just wait a minute. I am sharing the attendance with you. Do not worry. Today's day two. Okay, let me pin it up on the screen. Yeah, so form is added. Okay. Meanwhile, let me complete this part up. Okay. Just the HTML part. We will not get into the CSS part. Okay. Yeah. So first thing is our info batch, and we'll add the production house that is actually in use for this particular series. And then another thing, we'll have the same class name. So that is info batch itself. And the next thing, that is limited series. So you can add a kind of adjective in this case for our web series that we are writing it up on us. And then the last thing that we would need to add is uh, same class of info batch. And what is the screen resolution for this particular series that we have, maximum screen resolution that we have. So we have HD, so we'll add it as HD. So right now everything is messed up kind of thing. Okay, we do not have any output as intended as we need. So this will be the plain HTML part for our card. Okay, so we have built one card. We'll style it up. Okay, in tomorrow's lecture when we begin tomorrow's lecture. When we add that part up, when we style it up, then it will look much more better. Okay, so can we add a subscribe button? So are you trying to subscribe a particular web series? If you want, you can try adding a wish list button or other things. Okay, that would be fine. You will get option like in future we'll also organize some full stack development boot camps. In that case also you can get up there. Okay. Okay, guys. So this is the only front end part for the card. Okay, we are yet to complete this up. Do not worry about that. We'll do it up when we begin in tomorrow's lecture. Okay. Yeah, we'll see if we can do that also. Okay, YouTube clone and other things. Yeah, guys. So do you have any doubts or anything till this point? Okay. If you think there is any doubt from your, can you point out where exactly is overload info in the original UI? In the original UI, when you click on the overflow, when you click on this site, you can see it up on and down. So what I am trying to do is we can remove this name because we are having the name two times getting shown on the screen. So we can have it just one time. So in that case, we will have this overflow info or this overlay info at the bottom of the screen. So when I complete it tomorrow, in that case, we will see it up much more better. Can you show how transition works? See, see, when I am hovering on this screen, there are many changes being happening. Okay. One thing, we are scaling it up to 110. Another thing, we are showing some UI that is hidden. Okay. Next thing is we are having a title being shown on the top of the screen. Okay. So this all three CSS properties that are coming up when we are trying to hover, that is how your transition will work. So again, if you are asking about the transition in this particular card, when I write the code from scratch, in that case, you will understand it more how we will be implementing those transitions. So image insertion. Image insertion is already done. I have already added the image part, okay, mission.webp that I installed, that I downloaded, and it is already on the screen. Just we haven't resized it up. Yeah, then comes your assignment. So the only assignment that you would need to do right now is this part, okay? So we have our footer. I will take a screenshot of this footer. So this is the footer that you need. If you want, you can take a screenshot. I will also add it to the notes. If you have registered, you will obviously get the notes from whatever communication channel we have with you. Yeah, so this is my intended design for the footer, and I will also add a smaller view of the footer. Okay, just give me a moment. So how will my footer look on a mobile size screen? That will also be added. If you can work upon that too, because we haven't done the responsiveness yet. So it's your choice. It's your complete choice. Okay, just give me a moment. And so this will be your intended mobile size screen. Okay, so however you can. Okay, however you can add this up on the screen. Yeah. So this is your desktop size, and this is your mobile size. Okay. You do not need to submit the assignment. This is kind of just a work for you, hand-on work, so that you can practice it up with this bootcamp. Okay, not to submit right now. You can just code and keep it to yourself. On the last day, whatever assignment or things work will be given, you will be explained how you can add it up, where you can submit those assignment, and other processes will be explained to you. Stranger Thing image is not coming. I can see it is coming on the top. It's fine for me. With even the whatever style we added, it is looking good on the screen. You can check up the path for your, okay, if the path is not fine from your side, in that case, you would be having issue in the image being shown on the screen. This much for 4 days, 5 days. It will be 4 days long. Can you use GitHub after completion? Yeah, you can use GitHub after completion. Okay. You will have around 2 to 3 days. Okay. So do we have both PC and mobile view? Yeah, you have both PC and mobile view in the notes that we have added. Right now, it's the site that we have built. It's not yet responsive. Once we are done with the responsiveness, in that case, it will be fine. Okay, guys. So this footer will be just a small work for you, nothing much for today. And if you get any doubt, any feedback from your side, you can just add it. Okay. In next lecture, if you get any doubt from today's lecture itself, you can add it in the starting. Okay. So we will cover that up, then we'll move to the next part. And the only next part remaining in the movie section is those styling part. Okay. CSS code that will be remaining, and we'll work upon that CSS part tomorrow itself. Okay. CSS code. So all CSS code is added in the same code sandbox where we have been working. I have already shared you the link. Okay. See, this is the assignment for building the footer, okay? Not much, just the footer part you have to build. Okay, this is the assignment, okay? Okay, guys, so now I will close up this session now. Okay, we'll meet at the same time tomorrow. So we'll complete this part. We are yet to be done with the CSS part. We are taking too much time, no problem. We'll take up time, no problem, because we need to understand everything from the basic. So we'll complete the CSS part, and then we'll move to the next page, whatever would be tomorrow itself. And by day after tomorrow, we'll complete that next page. We'll see the deployment also in day after tomorrow's class. Okay. Yeah, you can take up the code and you can do the improvement, but do everything in your own code sandbox. I have restricted, do not write anything in my code sandbox, although I have restricted it up, but do not even try to do this up. Okay. Yeah, Nirmala, you will see the responsiveness tomorrow itself. We'll complete every CSS part, will add responsiveness, and you would be able to see responsiveness in this case too. Can I be if I'm familiar with it? Yeah, you can. If you're familiar with Next.js, you can. But this bootcamp is for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So if you are submitting assignment for this bootcamp, then try using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. Okay, if you are able to do footer for desktop too, you can do that. When I cover the responsiveness part, after that you can complete it for mobile view and also okay. No, it would not be different from Code Sandbox and VS Code. JS would be same. Okay. Okay, guys. So now I will be closing this session now. Okay. You do not need to submit any assignment. You can keep it up with you. Okay. Yeah, guys. So we'll close this session now. We'll meet you at the same time of 7 o'clock tomorrow, and have a nice night ahead. Good night. Bye bye. Thank you guys for joining.